Hi, so welcome to Who Coaches the Coach. Today I do, and in all the other days I also do it. Okay, this is one of the things that I love to do. Not only coach players and try to take the best out of the players, but also give as much as possible to other coaches and make the access to the information as democratic as possible, so that you can also develop to your full potential. Okay, so as said and as shown before, I brought you the exercise of the Rondo. Okay, really simple drill, a Rondo 4v2, and I told you that we would start to do a lot of things based on this drill. Okay, so the first situation that we had was the square. Yeah, I would say to start, it depends of course on the age range that you are working with, but a good measurement might be somewhere around 10 per 10. Then of course understand your players, understand their qualities, understand their difficulties, and adjust in regards to this. Okay, if you want to start with a bigger size because you think they will have difficulties, don't forget, start with a bigger size and reduce it. Much better than to start with a smaller size and then having to raise the measurements. Okay, so we started with a very simple situation, which was a 4v2. Okay, 4 players on the outside, 2 in the middle, which was what we already spoke in the previous exercise. And today I bring you the same exercise but with completely different objectives. Okay, imagine that instead of having 4v2, you have one team of 2, which is the brown team. Okay, then you have the blue team, and on the middle you have the orange team. Okay, so you just turned your 4v2 into a 2+2v2 on the middle. Okay, this can bring you completely different objectives and can make the exercise much more competitive. Okay, and this is an exercise that you can use, for instance, in the second moment of a training session. Of course, you can use different numbers. Today we are doing one of the most basic situations, which is the 4v2. Okay, the indications that I gave on the previous clip in regards to Rondo 4v2, or the main objectives, are the same. The sub principles, the body orientation, the look before receiving, the pass and always moving, not to move and stay on the corners. Okay, all those keep, all those maintain. But in this situation you can do a different thing, which is you give responsibility to the player that has the ball as much as possible, because before, okay, it was a 4v2, anyone could go into the middle. Now you are responsible for you and also for the actions of your teammate. Okay, because if you lose it, you both go into the middle. So if this brown player loses it, both brown players go into the middle, both oranges get out. Okay, and here the idea that I bring you 2 different ideas. Okay, the first one, you can do a competitive match. Okay, in the drill, whilst for instance you put the team in the middle for 3 minutes. Okay, this will start working resistance. It's really hard for these players on the middle, and on those 3 minutes, max recoveries. Okay, yeah, so this team will be on the middle for 3 minutes, and imagine that they get 12 recoveries. Okay, orange team. Then you switch, yeah, and it goes, for instance, the blue team goes to the middle, they switch. Okay, and you again do more 3 minutes in the middle. They will try, of course, to do the maximum recoveries possible, but they know they have to beat 12 to be the first team. Okay, and then it's up to you to, as much as possible, to play with that situation, to play with their emotions, and to make them want to be the best. Okay, this is something that is normal in a football player. They will be competitive. Okay, but it depends a lot on the type of environment that you're in. In some situations you might have to do a bit more for them to become competitive, more competitive. Okay, so imagine second team goes there and they do 13 recoveries. Okay, now you know, of course, then you switch. Yeah, the browns go into the middle, the blues that were there go out, and then it's 3 minutes for the Browns, and of course that the Browns know that they have to beat 13 to win it, okay? And you'll get much more intensity out of this, much more related, much more objective wise than a normal Rondo 4v2. It doesn't mean that on a Rondo 4v2 you cannot do different things. You can do, for instance, a certain amount of passes, leaves the players on the middle for one more round or stuff like that. But this, I can assure you, it makes things much more competitive. Okay, so imagine Browns 14 recoveries. They won, okay, and now here with rest you should have around 11 minutes, okay? If you do 3 minutes with a stoppage of 30 seconds, 45 seconds, you'd be 11 minutes into your drill. And then of course it's up to you to understand your players. If you go into a round 2, you can be sure that this first team of the Oranges will give you everything that they have so that they can beat the 14, so that they can go into the first place, okay? And of course that if you as a coach manage the emotions and show them how proud you are of the team that is winning, I can assure you that they will try as much as possible to beat this 14 and to show you that they are the best team there, and this will make a huge difference, okay? So this is one of the situations that I wanted to show you today. I want you to try this, then give me feedback how it went, okay? But then a completely different drill. Well, we don't need different draws. This is a really basic situation. It is, instead of 3 minutes maximum recoveries, we work with transitions, okay? So team on the middle wins the ball. What do they have to do? Okay, they have the possession, yeah? Imagine, orange team gets the possession, they intercept the pass, they get the possession, they are both on the middle, okay? They stole the ball from the brown team, which will have to do what? They will have to do the defensive transition, which will be, of course, to pressure the ball as fast as possible and as aggressive as possible, because this team is on the middle, the space is still only this one, okay? Because they were open and in possession, they lost it, so they have to try and to give pressure to the orange team as much as possible, okay? Of course, the orange team only has the blue team to play, yeah? Don't forget about this. On the previous rondo, so like this, if one player loses the possession, only one would come to press, yeah, and he would have 3 available passing lines, okay, to give the ball back. Now only has 2. Of course, he has the teammate with him, but since that they were defending, they would be too close for the teammate to work as a passing line. So they have to look for these 2 passing lines as fast as possible, which will make us work a lot on the transitions on the game, okay? This is completely related to the game because when you lose the possession, you have to do a quick defensive transition, narrow your team, pressure the ball, give coverages as fast as possible, give balance, give equilibriums, so that your team can close and not allow the opposition to do nothing with the possession, okay? On the other way around, team that wins the possession releases the ball, and as fast as possible they have to occupy the spaces that they need, okay? Whilst the Browns will start to go and to close the spaces as fast as possible, okay? Really important details that you get out of here. In such a small space, this player gives the ball and then has to open. Details, how does he open, how does he or she open, where the feet face, where should he look, how should he or she position her body. Exactly the same with this one, okay? Imagine that there's a situation that this player gives the ball, this player, which will do team with the oranges because the Browns are going into the middle, moves to the furthest space because this player is closer to be here. This is exactly a positional switch on the pitch, okay? This can be, for instance, the interior midfielder going out, yeah, and the right fullback going in, okay? So I want you to think about this as the possibility that is completely realistic to the game, in a game where you put 6 players, small game, okay, high tempo because the space is short, and now imagine the huge number of transitions that you will have if you do, for instance, 12 minutes defensive, offensive transitions, okay? So major details for the game that you take out of these games, yeah, of course that you should as much as possible play with the measurements, okay. Mostly in this game of transitions, it's not supposed for you to do 2 passes and it's a transition, 2 passes, offensive transition, 2 passes, they lose the possession. No, okay. Your team should be able, and your players should be able to keep the possession for such a long time, yeah, if needed. Of course, 10, 12 passes in some situations they might do amazingly and you create 14, 15 passes. But you should understand, if the team outside or the team's in possession and you have no transitions, it means that probably the space is too big, or the teams that you put up with, the team on the middle is probably weaker than the other, so it's something that you should see, okay? Easier way to do, instead of switching players right on the beginning of the drill, because that will, as you know, when you switch teams during a drill, you are normally saying that one player is weaker than the other and you need to balance things. Try to reduce the space a bit, okay? And then yes, if things keep not going as you want, try to switch the teams, or on the next training session do different pairs of players and try to play that with, as much as possible, okay? So going over Rondo 4v2 with 3 teams of 2 this time, okay? 2 situations, one 3 minutes doing maximum recoveries, and then the other playing offensive and defensive transitions, okay? We will keep doing this drill and working on this, such a basic drill, to give you different solutions and different exercises, but today it's a lot of information for you to have. Try it on your training sessions and then let me know how it went, okay? Don't forget, look as much as possible into the details, okay? Put the exercise going and step away from it and look with curiosity to what you're seeing, okay? Hope you like this one, and I'll see you soon, yeah? Thank you.